Greetings, YouTube. Today we're looking at an assortment of figures because I don't think any one of these figures needs a video of its own. So we'll start over here. This is a figure from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle line, I believe. And these would actually be functioning in packs. And they have a closing jaw, which is quite nice. The head is articulate. And the hips themselves move, so you could kind of, do a running pose, or even do a jump and kick kind of a thing going on there. And to give you an idea, I think these would actually make interesting enemies for a 25mm figure. You can see that's a significant enemy if you were going to use these as automatons of some variety. Definitely dangerous. And in a magical environment, the fact that they seem to have almost no external sensors of any kind is meaningless because they're just magic and they just work. So we're going to put that one aside. Next, we're going to look at this spider figure, which I quite like. I like the front manipulators. Those actually aren't teeth. They would be under there. It's a hollow figure, so it's very light. And it doesn't have great, it's got no articulation. It's just made of soft rubber. But I think it is a good overall monstrous spider, something that looks like right out of Skyrim. And, again, a good scale for a 25mm figure. This is definitely a large spider. Drop that on the table and all the arachnophobes will run screaming. Now we have a figure. This is a static Gorilla Grodd figure from the DC Universe. Stands up quite nicely because he's got 3 points of contact with the ground. And I'm a big fan of gorillas in general. I like them, and Grodd always makes me smile. And I think, yep, there's actually a screw in there, so you could, in theory, take him apart if you wanted to for some purpose. But if you don't want to use him as Gorilla Grodd, he definitely makes a good opponent for gaming. I mean, yeah, it's a large gorilla, much larger than a real-world gorilla. So you could, like a dire gorilla or something, quite easily. Or if they have an evolved species of gorilla, like Gorilla Grodd himself is, that would also be appropriate. And Gorilla Grodd down. Here we have a figure, and this is from the Jurassic Park line, so I think this is a Spinosaurus it's supposed to be. And I picked this up at a flea market for like, I think 50 cents or $1 or something like that. And I quite liked the overall look. And a good size for miniatures. I know it's not official D&D or Pathfinder miniatures, but let's be serious, man. When you can get them this cheap, who wouldn't use figures like this for their gaming? It's just so good. We'll bring this one up. This is a really rubbery. It's got kind of like that squishy beanie stuff in its head. It's kind of freaky. And this one is not particularly all that intriguing, but it's all stretchy and stuff, and it would make a good top tier danger to a ship or something. This is a huge underwater creature of some variety. You can easily grab a rowboat and pull it under, or be very dangerous to a creatures of the scale that is here in this figure. Not a lot of got going on here. It's got a little bit of texture, but not much. A little bit on the bottom. Very simple. The painting is almost, the painting is non-existent on the bottom, and the painting on the top is very basic. There's some on the head, and there are dots here and there. So it's a very simple figure. Then we have one here. This one has more. I actually have a larger version of this in my collection, and I saw this. I didn't realize they had made like a medium-sized version of it, so the smaller version. And again, a good figure size scale for a huge octopus, but this has more texture. The skin has more texture to it overall. The painting is a little better. There actually is some painting on the bottom. There's no beak on this one though. Where the beak is, it's just flat. But definitely a solid design. It's quite attractive, and it would make a good miniature for your tabletop, whether you're doing wargaming or role-playing games. So yeah, this has been a figure assortment video. Hope you enjoyed it. And I think that these are some really cool little figures.